did actually make a bingo Enfield live stream wish list the other day and recorded it, and then wasn't very happy with the video. I thought, hey, do you know what? Should we go through the things on my wish list before we get into it? Yeah, because obviously, Enfield tomorrow, chat. Enfield is tomorrow. No memes, no jokes. The live stream is tomorrow in like 21 hours, actually. So the other day, I wrote this up and I recorded the video. Scrap the video, of course, but let's do it in real time. This isn't a wish list. This is what potentially could be there, right? Because there's things here that I'm not that, well, at least one that I'm not really bothered, but some people might want to see that change. And yeah, I'll let's see what you guys have got to say as well then. So, right, what I want to see in the Enfield live stream, okay? One, beta announcement, of course, right? And what I mean by that is the date. Either the stream ends and the beta's live, or on this date, the beta's starting. That's like, obviously, I think probably one of the major ones, because that's kind of what we're here for, right? And put you guys over there. But obviously, there's other stuff as well. But in regard to the beta announcement, I'd like to see it on mobile, because we've had a closed behind-the-scenes NDA mobile test. But I think it's important to see how the game is running on mobile, right? Because it's a massive part of the audience, and I think it's important to see how it runs on mobile. And of course, a console beta. Our console brothers out there to get access to it, because this is another game that's coming to console. And I think it's becoming an ever more important market for the gacha space, in my opinion. I think the JP charts with PlayStation are a good example of that. Gacha games regularly appearing in the top 10, if not top in the list, in like WUA, ZZZ, I think Genshin, I think does HSR, I'm not too sure, but like I know ZZZ and WUA do quite well in those. And of course, obviously, a PC as well, right? Because I'm on PC. I want to add, right? This is selfless and selfish. I want everybody to access the game, so I want it to be an open beta. But I also want it to be open because I really want to get into it, and it will suck if all of you are in Discord going, oh, I've just won my 50-50, and oh, picks, they've added this, and oh, they've tweaked this, and look at these picks, and I'm sitting there going, fuck you guys. So I want it to be open so you get to do that, but I want to be there as well, okay? Because I'll be pissed if I don't get in. So please, Hypergryph, make it open, please. Let everybody get access to it. Make it kind of like a server slam event. Just let everybody get in. And I think it will do so much advertisement for the game as well, right? Obviously, I think the next big one, probably even bigger in a sense, is the release date, right? The release date is what everybody wants to know, right? The release date is what everybody wants to know. Is it going to be Q1 of 2026, like IGN said it was, like Apple said it was? So yeah, either a release window, a release date, or to say, we've got nothing on the release date today, but tune into the Game Awards or tune into this on this date, and we might have something for you. I want to tease. I need to cope, right? I need to cope, and I kind of want to know when the game's coming out, really, so I can really start smashing Arknights out even more. So yeah, I'd like either some hints, teases, suggestions, or just tell us. That'd be really, really nice. That'd be really, really nice. And obviously, I just mentioned it. You know, the reason I keep mentioning it, obviously, the IGN tweet, the Apple post, they didn't just happen in a vacuum, right? Obviously, information was sent out by Hypergryph to partners, I guess, to say, look, this is when we're aiming for, you know, and I suppose we want you to help market it when this happens. But I'm guessing the communication error happened, and they didn't let them companies know that. Don't tell anybody, though. And I think that's what happened, really, if I'm honest. Which we're looking at, like, what, 5 months now, if it's at the end of Q1. So if we don't have an open beta now, don't know if we've got time for an open beta, or nothing's going to change to a closed beta anyway. So, other than advertisements, you know, but whatever anyway. This one, number 3, new characters. I want to see, obviously, new characters. Obviously, gameplay. Of course, we want to see some gameplay in the stream. Whether that's a little hint at some stuff, story stuff or something, maybe even just showing off some kits of some of the new characters, right? Throw in a character and then be like, either show the kit through gameplay or just maybe have some of the devs maybe just quickly go over, oh, this character's a tank and their skill does this and they're focused on blah, 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 blah. I think that would obviously be cool to see, just to see, you know, what they've been cooking up kind of thing, you know? I think that'd be really cool to see. And then obviously, for me, a new Enfield PV or a trailer, like a promotional video, probably something focused on the story, giving us tease some characters that are involved, what's happening, a little bit more of a view of Talos, maybe tease us a new area as well, you know, something that we haven't seen yet. That'd be really cool. Kind of give us an idea. Obviously, I don't want them to ruin the idea of the story, but, you know, tease us with something. Maybe even throw an Easter egg in there to really get people excited. I think that would be really, really, really cool as well. Yeah, obviously, system reworks and updates. I threw this in there, and this is not because I want this, right? I have got no issues with the gacha system in Enfield. Of course, you'd always want it to be better, but from my experience with the system and what we had in the gacha, obviously, I mean the beta, things might have changed. And if they've changed, I'd want to know. And some people might want changes, so if they have made those changes, I'd love to know. Obviously, we'll find out when we're playing, but it would be kind of cool if they have made those changes. Maybe explain, well, this is why we did this, because we got feedback and we thought that was probably a good idea, and we tweaked this and we tweaked that. And I'd like to know about it, because obviously there was a lot of people who weren't happy about the lack of guarantees for dupes and all that sort of stuff, and the pity crossovers. But for me, if you guaranteed the pity, guaranteed at 120, you're guaranteed. So it's like the pity carrying over is not so important. But anyway, some people won't be happy with that. So if they are making changes, it'd be nice to know. This one, it's not one that I want to see, right? It's just, you know, it's just like it is what it is. PC client launcher news, right? Anybody who's playing Arknights wants to know about this, right? We got teased in the 6.5 anniversary stream, so maybe something about the PC client, and maybe tease the client. Just imagine if they show the launcher, and you see in the launcher, it's got Enfield, and then it's got Arknights in the launcher. That'd be massive, I think. But that'd also throw in another question of like, what the fuck does that mean for us in global? Considering Yostar's dealing with the publishing, are we not getting a launcher? Is it going to be separate? I really want to know the answer to that. Well, I think that might be something we have to wait a while for. And then I'm just doing more Yvonne content, because I think we need to see more Yvonne, you know? I think we all could do with a bit of Yvonne in our life. Now, this one here, I can't see this being in the stream, but this is just a request for the game, right? Multi-language voice options. Multi-language voice options. And obviously what I mean by that, if you don't play Arknights, is characters being able to, you set them. So, character A speaking French, or Japanese, or Chinese, or Korean, or Italian, and then the other character speaking English, and another character speaking another language, and allow you to customize it in the sense that you could have everybody speaking English in cutscenes if you wanted to, because you're like, I don't want to switch between reading and listening, I just want to listen. But also have that option there as well. But then have it so you could just have it for the combat, so battle lines, all that sort of stuff, like, you know, when it's in-game. Because for me, I'll probably set everybody to English in cutscenes, but set them to different languages in battle, for the battle lines, because I think it just sounds cool. And I'll probably turn it on now and again just for the fun, because it'd be funny watching all the characters talk to each other all in different languages. I just think that'd be kind of funny. But yeah, that was kind of the list I put together, right? Nothing like crazy. It's kind of sort of stuff I'd like to see, and hopefully we get some teases of, or them alluding to it maybe. Yeah, it's just suck when I have a gacha for a weapon. That's one of the main reasons I play Arknights for 5 years. Well, that's a good thing with the gacha in this. You rebates, right? So every pull counts towards a weapon pull. So in a sense, with this game, when you're pulling, I know this sounds mad, but you don't, unless you get super lucky, you don't want to get the character super early, because you're getting less weapon pulls and less chance of potentially getting the best weapon for the character. So it's like, it's a weird system in that regard. Like there is obviously quirks to the system, And it's by no means perfect, because I don't think there is a gacha system that is perfect, right? But from my interaction with it, I like it. I think it's a step forward from the Hoyo Kuro system that I think potentially, especially for low spenders and free-to-play players, is probably more beneficial for them. And as long as you aren't going wild with your balls, right? If you're just trying to build pity, or fuck it, throw it here, throw there, you'll probably find that you might end up with less, maybe. Or if you are playing the game regularly and you're deciding on banners, you know, not just trying for everything, I think you're going to find that you're probably getting stuff easier and cheaper. And I mean, the characters, weapons, and all that sort of stuff. That's how the system feels anyway. Wales, I don't know. I think the system probably is a little bit worse for Wales. But at the end of the day, if the game's good, Wales are just going to wail, right? Wales are just going to wail. There's less of a reason to pop your characters in Arknights, but there's plenty of people who do because they want to support the game. I think there'll be plenty of people who want to support a Hypergryph. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, I think Wales will still wail. But I do think for medium, low spenders, and free-to-play players, I think it'll be a decent system, personally. You know? Basically, the system rewards, saving what? Yeah, pretty much. Scoot, pretty much. I want low light to appear in a new cosplay. So imagine if he comes in dressed as Perlico. I'll be here for that. I'll be here for you. Don't forget the shop as... Yes, yeah. The signatures aren't exactly, like, next level as well. So, that is a good point as well, Ken. Yeah. Don't forget there's that one game mode where you can farm weapon pool currency, so it's kind of okay to get the character. Yeah, there is that. There is that balance as well. There definitely is that. I suppose I'm more talking about when you're interacting with the gacha. You know, the further you go in, the more weapon rebate. You're right. For all remember, all weapon rotating, you can... Well, yeah, well, there is a rotation. I don't think every best weapon from each patch will end up in the shop. I'm not saying there won't be weapons that will come in. I do think there'll be the more limited ones. I think they'll probably do it a little bit like how Arknights is. You'll have limited ones that you'll really need to try and get that. It's like, right, this might not come back for a while. Then there'll be other ones where it will go into standard pools, and then it'll obviously go into the shop as well. Because the shop does have some... In the beta, some of the guns, some of the weapons you could buy in the store weren't actually bad. You know, there weren't that much of a downgrade from the stuff you could get in the gacha. There obviously were worse, but like not like drastically. But obviously, we'll have to see on launch. These are all things that could change massively, right? You know, they could make the gacha worse. They could make rates worse. They could make it more expensive. You know, Stellasaur is a perfect example. They could tweak the numbers on these weapons, and these 2% could be 10% and 20%, and we just don't know, do we? So, what we have to do is hope that the way they've handled Arknights, they take that philosophy into Enfield, and we see that again, right? We see a game that puts the player's experience as a major part. Of course they want to make money, but the experience is a massive factor to them. A lot of companies talk about that, but then when their actions, it's like, oh, you know, it doesn't feel like that. Maybe you honestly mean it, but it doesn't feel like it. But I feel like with Arknights, you do feel like you're respected, don't you? Maybe I'm naive, maybe I'm a corporate simp, but that's how it feels anyway. You know, I've played a couple of gacha games now. I came from other gacha games, and yeah, I feel like the game gives you much more options to get access to stuff. I'm new to the game, right? And I've got a pretty decent team. I'm E1, but if I was fucking E2, and my units are meta, well, obviously I'll be able to slap a lot of content in the game. And I'm new, and I've only bought a few packs, right? I haven't bought any of the currency in the game. I've just bought a few packs, and I've got a lot of stuff, which you just can't do that in other games. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you can't, but it happens a lot less, right? You have to be ultra lucky, I feel like. But, come on, I'm excited. I'm excited, guys. I mean, what is the... let's say, tell me what's the thing you want to see in the stream the most. What is the one thing that you're like, please show this, say this, or do this? I'd love to know. I'd love to know.